Hi guys, Josh Lloyd back. NBA first look for DraftKings for Thursday. A very busy Thursday. There are 11 games on. Let's talk about those 11 games right now. The first one of those, the Detroit Pistons and the Charlotte Hornets. Delon Wright could be back. He is questionable. So what they do with him and Dennis Smith is a big question mark. Josh Jackson and Jeremy Grant missed before the break, but they're off the injury report, while the Hornets, Cody Zeller's ready to go. And Devontae Graham looks like he's going to be back. They're going to continue to start LaMelo Ball. But where Graham fits in, what that means for Malik Monk and for Ball and for Rozier and all their playing time and usage, it is up in the air. Now, I don't think we want to use Graham in this one, but it is just important to note that he is returning. I think if there's someone we want to use in this game, it's going to be Jeremy Grant at 7,700. He's fine. He's firing. He's ready to go. His recent production hasn't been great. There's a couple of interesting games there, but at least he's not at $8,000. Sub 8,000 I think is okay for him. I do like Gordon Hayward quite a bit as well. Hayward is at 7,500. If I could spell probably, you'd see me bring it up. 7,500 for him is good. The worry I have with LaMelo at 9,000, not that he's not producing, because he absolutely is. He's averaging 50 points over the last three contests. Had 39 points in the last game, but prior to that, 60, 61, 50, 42. The worry I have is just what that impact of Graham is. So I probably wouldn't be using LaMelo at 9,000 at this stage. And the same is going to go for Dennis Smith Jr., who's been putting up some good numbers, but with Delon right back, we just don't know how that mix is going to be. 6,400 from Mason Plumlee, I think is all right, but again, I worry somewhat with the understanding of maybe they give some more minutes there to Isaiah Stewart. And then you've got Sadiq Bey at 5,700, who is not really all that interesting to me, nor is Josh Jackson at his, 5,900 salary, and Devontae Graham at 56. Rozier's at 8,000, and again, I just think that the presence of Graham just takes a little bit of that upside and a little bit of the uncertainty around Terry Rozier away. Takes the certainty away, adds more uncertainty. Better get my words right. Next game is the Nets and the Celtics. No Kevin Durant and no Blake Griffin. So we might have Jeff Green. We don't know that. So we're still going to get an opportunity, I guess, here for Nick Claxton. Marcus Smart is also returning for Boston, so that impacts what happens with their center rotation. So let's start with their center rotation, because the Rock DJ, Robbie Williams, is at 4,800. He's been playing well, obviously averaging 27 points in his last 5 in just 20 minutes a game. But if one of Tice or Thompson moves to the bench, what does that mean for Williams? Where does his role sit? Is he still a 20-minute-a-night guy? You'd only want to use that in GPPs because there is a risk that he plays 13, 14 minutes here. James Harden's at 11,000, and without Kevin Durant, I think we are pretty okay with that. That looks great to me. He's averaging 67 points his last 3 games. Irving's at 96. I'm not massively into that for Kyrie at that sort of a salary, while Jaylen Brown at 81 is too high. Yeah, Nicky Claxton's at 37, and without Griffin and without Durant, and maybe without Jeff Green, Claxton has been putting up really big numbers. 3,700 for Clacko. Yeah, 28 DraftKings points last game. He's averaging 20 in his 5 games this season. Yeah, that's really good at sub 4,000, and the opportunity is here for him. I don't mind Kemba at 7,400, and I am okay with Tatum at 9.4 actually, much more than I am with Jaylen Brown at 8,100. The other guy who also gets a bit of a reprieve with these injuries is Bruce Brown, but I am not comfortable spending 5,800 on a salary for Bruce Brown. Yes, 38 points last game, 34 the game before that. I am not comfortable with that, and I wouldn't be doing it. I won't be doing it for Marcus Smart first game back either, as he returns from his torn calf issue. The Raptors, we thought we'd get their COVID-positive players back, or the guys who are in the protocols. That isn't the case. So we're not going to have OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Malachi Flynn, Patrick McCaw. Those guys aren't returning, and now Terrence Davis is questionable. Should have also mentioned, for the game before the Nets, Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot is doubtful. The Hawks, Capella missed before the break, but he is fine and ready to go. And it looks like there will be no restrictions on Bogdan Bogdanovic. Now, he is at a very exciting price, 3,500. First game back, he dropped 15 points, and that was in 20 minutes. There is still the concern with how the rotation goes, but no Cam Reddish, no DeAndre Hunter. I like Bogdanovic at that price. I love Chris Boucher, 6,500. He played, 35 minutes last game before he fouled out. Clint Capella's not a big powerhouse that's going to overwhelm him, so I love Boucher here. I like Capella as well at 7,900. That should be pretty strong for me. in this one. Well, we got Johnny Collins, who at $7,000, I'm not ready to trust Nate McMillan in terms of his minutes. That's a strong no from me. 9-9 for Trae Young looks okay. I'm not fully invested in that, but I am with Norm Powell. 7,200 looks great. With all those absences, Powell's going to get a shit ton of shots and a shit ton of opportunities, as is Kyle Lowry. Lowry is at 8,600. He should exceed 40 really comfortably in this matchup. And I think there's some good numbers there. Now, last game, 52 points for Danilo Gallinari. That was with Capella out. I wouldn't rely upon the Italian cock to be able to produce that for you on any sort of regular basis. Next up, we're looking at the Philadelphia 76ers. They are taking on the Chicago Bulls. Some injury news in this one. No Joel Embiid, no Ben Simmons. So those guys are out. That's awesome. For the other side of the thing with the Bulls, Lauri Markkanen and Otto Porter are both probable and likely to play. So some changes to the rotations. On the Sixers side of things, I think we really do have to look at Shake Milton, 5,300. I don't think he starts. I think they start Matisse Thybulle there, but Milton's going to get more usage regardless. This is a 30-point type opportunity here for Shake. You can also look at Milton, who's just a bee's dick above minimum salary, 3,100. He could very easily be a 20-point performer, and that's not a great upside, but it does enable you to get some other big name or big price players in. Thad Young's at 57. I worry here with Thad. Now, his lowest score over his last 5 is 33, which is amazing. But Markkanen and Porter coming back are both going to have an impact on Thad, so that would just sour me somewhat there. I think we can look at Tyrese Maxey as a cheap option as well if we don't want to go with Thybulle. At 3,300, he's going to get more opportunities, while Toby Harris at 8,100 is going to be great, I think. Without Simmons, without Embiid, he's going to have to be the guy that gets all of the usage. That looks strong to me. The 9,700 for Levine feels too high, and I don't feel great about 6,500 for Kobe White. Orlando. Miami, that is our next game. The Magic still without a bunch of guys, although they could be welcoming back Aaron Gordon, who is questionable. They are without Cole Anthony, James Ennis, and Evan Fournier, while Miami is going to be without Bam Adebayo. A little bit of a surprise there. So 5,100 for Kelly Olynyk. It is one of the best options on the board completely. Last game without Bam, he went bananas. Now, I don't think we expect 45 fantasy points, but he's going to play more than 30 minutes, and he's going to be awesome. So I love him at that salary. Jimmy Butler's at 9,500. I feel pretty good about using Jim at that sort of salary as well. While Tyler Hero at 58, strong no. Goran Dragic's at 6,000, not interested. Terrence Ross at 6,700, absolutely count me in. No Fournier, no Ennis. He's probably going to have to start and play a decent chunk of minutes there. With Aaron Gordon maybe back, it impacts guys like Chuma Akiki, Al-Farouq Aminu, those sort of players, and probably has a bit of a drop on Nikola Vucevic and his production. Now, Vuce has been amazing, but 10,400 for a bloke who might get you 45 points is probably not the way that you want to spend that money. He's been a 50-point guy, easily. But Gordon's not a guy like Aminu who has 2% usage. He's going to have a decent chunk of shots, and it's going to have an impact on where Vuce sits. Carter Williams at 6,000. I don't feel great about it. I think there is some value in it, but I don't feel particularly good, and he wouldn't be one of my first choice point guards to have a look at. Not much out in terms of spreads or totals at this stage, but we do have one for this one, and it seems pretty wildly high with the Knicks 11-point underdogs against the Bucks. The total's 222.5. Interestingly, Derrick Rose is ruled out. So ruled out because of protocol still. I don't really know why that's the case, considering he flew back with the team before the All-Star break. So I don't really understand why he's still out in protocols, unless it's another issue there. But he is not playing. So we're going to get Alfred Payton starting again. Mitch Robinson's out once more, while Taj Gibson is questionable. Reggie Bullock is at 3,500. Don't know why I brought his name up first, but that's where we are. I did. So could we look at Bullock as a player at 3,500? Maybe. 23 points last game. That's all right. I wouldn't be massively excited. I am massively excited about Giannis Antetokounmpo. He should be a 60-point performer here against the Knicks. He averages 58 the last 3 times out. Well, Drew Holiday, rightfully so. Just if you're basing it on production, his salary has dipped. But that was returning from COVID. I think 7,100 for Drew is worth a bit of a splurge. And I also think Peyton at 5,600. We know that Tom Thibodeau is going to be really resistant to using Emmanuel quickly. So Peyton, who had 43 in 35 minutes last game, is an option for us. Rowan Barrett's at 6,000. I don't like the upside, but I do like the cash floor value there for Barrett. while the double royal Julius Randle's at 9,800. It is pushing a little bit too high for me, especially in a matchup against the Bucks, but I'm not completely against it. I'm just not totally in on it. I think we have to avoid guys like DiVincenzo, Connaughton, but I guess maybe Connaughton at 43, but I'm not super into that. Noel's at 5,900. He's been playing a shit ton. But if Taj plays, it's hard for me to trust Noel. If Taj is out, I would be very interested in using Nerlens Noel at that sort of salary. The next game is one of the games that we do have a spread and total for as well, and that is the Minnesota Timberwolves and the New Orleans Pelicans. No Jordan McLaughlin, and while that might not seem like much to you, it means there's only one point guard on this team, and that's Ricky Rubio. Jarrett Culver is also doubtful, and it looks like we're going to have Jared Vanderbilt starting again. The reason I bring up McLaughlin is because Rubio's at $6,000, and he's probably going to have to play 35, 36 minutes. There is no other point guard on this team, and that's some pretty good value there for him. It also appears that Jackson Hayes has supplanted Billy Hernan-Gomez as the backup center. I'm not saying that he's a great value option, but 20 fantasy points in 20 minutes last game, especially with Steven Adams' struggles, yeah, maybe. At 3,200, you have to at least consider that. Josh the Hitman Hart's at $5,000. Really safe cash play, I think Hart is, at that sort of salary. I like that a lot. While Towns at 10,000, I think is pretty strong also. Hopefully his conditioning is good. Ingram's at 84, not loving that, while Zion's at 9,300. That's a lot, and the reason that's a lot is because Zion is doing a lot. In fact, Zion is doing the most. Nearly every time that he is out there, he had 51 in his last game. He's averaging 50 over the last week of action, and at 9.3, that's actually worthwhile looking at. While Anthony Edwards is at 6,700, if one of these days Edwards' shots go in, they probably won't ever, but if they ever go in, then he's going to beat that number really easily. I'm not 100% convinced in him, but he is, I think with their injuries, he is someone to pay a level of attention to in this matchup. I'm not massive on Jaden McDaniels, even though he did play 30 minutes last game. It looks like he will remain in that second unit. The Pelicans are 8.5 point favorites here, but it is a very, very favorable spread in this game. Next up, we look at the Dallas Mavericks. They are taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is a back-to-back for the Mavericks. The Thunder, they should welcome back Al Horford, who rested the last game, but MC Hamidou Diallo is out. Ty Jerome, 3,300, playing pretty well. I'm not super into him. I'm not super into Horford either. I think we have to look at Doncic. I guess the worry we have with Luka here is it is a back-to-back, and it's a bad team, and they might be blown out. I think maybe the bad team nature of it is nullified a bit by it being a back-to-back. But I am still interested in Luka. 5,500 for Darius Bazley. I know we shit on him quite a lot, but he's averaging 28 in his last 3 games, which at 5,500 is absolutely fine. Maxi Kleber's at 42, not interested in that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 8,900. I'm a little bit interested in it. I think it might be bordering a little bit on being too high, but 37 average over the last 4 would tell you that that is too high. He had 51 in his last game, though. I'm not ready to use him at that sort of salary, I don't think. Not keen on Theo Maledon, not keen on Timmy Hardaway or Kenrich Williams. Next game, the Phoenix Suns, the Portland Trailblazers. Absolutely furious day here in terms of busyness. Devin Booker is questionable, and Cameron Johnson is out due to COVID protocol. So that is absolutely, you have to pay attention to that. No Harry Giles, no McCollum, no Nurkic for Portland, of course. Booker's at 8,000. I really would like using him if he plays, but obviously we have no confidence in that. Ayton at 6,900 doesn't do it for me. Lillard at 10,700 does, though. Really into Lillard at that sort of salary. Lillard is averaging, 51 over the last 3 games. This looks pretty strong for me. While Chris Paul at 7,800. I think Paul at 78 is probably too high. With Cam Johnson out, though, I would be happily taking a flyer on Jay Crowder. The only other option they have there is Frank Kaminsky, and he's trash. And Crowder should push up minutes. Now, he's obviously wildly inconsistent, but I like him at that sort of salary. 76 for Enes Kanter, I think, is not bad. While Gary Trent at 57 doesn't do it for me, and Bob Covington's at 58. I actually like Covington at 58. I think there is some value in that one. The Warriors at this point haven't submitted an injury report. I don't know why that's the case, but they haven't, so we don't have an update on Kelly Oubre. Last game before the break, no Draymond, no Steph. They'll be fine. They'll be back. But we don't know about Oubre. We also don't know whether they'll continue to start James Wiseman. They started him that game before the break. That's what I'm trying to say. He started that game, but I think that was just because everybody was out. So I'm not certain that he will be a big part of things, or the 35 minutes that he played there is something that's replicable here. Now, I don't mind taking a flyer on Wiseman, but I would just be really hesitant with it because I'm not sure that he starts. Steph's at 10-2. I'm not confident with that. I feel much better with using 8,500 on Paul George personally, or even 8,900 on Kawhi Leonard in their first games back from the All-Star break. Wiggins is at 6,100 only for tournaments. It doesn't really do it for me. Well, Jordan Poole, I don't even know if he's in the rotation, but he sure put up some good numbers against Phoenix last game. He could be a very cheap flyer type option for you. The last game of the day, we're looking at the Houston Rockets, and we're looking at the Sacramento Kings. Christian Wood is out for Houston. Kevin Porter looks like he could be ready to go. We don't know that for sure. And Tyrese Halliburton returns for the Kings. Daniel House is also out for Houston, while Eric Gordon is questionable. Now, Porter is going to be a pretty popular option at 3,200. I just think we need to be cautious about how much he actually plays, but there is value there. I like Justin Patton at 4,900. He should get a start, and if he doesn't start, it doesn't matter. He'll play good minutes coming off the bench at 4,900. And John Wall at 82, I think, looks pretty good to me. Wall is going to play in both games of the back-to-back, and Oladipo will definitely play on this Thursday one. Halliburton's at 67, probably too high for me. Hield at 66. Well, he started to get going, but I'm not sure 66 is the right price tag for him. And with Halliburton back, I'd be pretty hesitant to use Marvin Bagley. I think we can use Victor Oladipo at 8,200. He's putting up some giant numbers, 46 average in the last three. Inefficient, but giant numbers, so that makes a lot of sense to me. While Harrison Barnes at 7,100 probably isn't the right guy for us to take a look at here. There are 11 games on, and there's still plenty that can change. But at the moment, some value options. Yeah, Kevin Porter, I think, is a good upside play. Bogdan Bogdanovic. I love Rubio and Boucher and Milton. Kelly Olynyk is a great option there, too. I think Serge Ibaka's not bad. Lonzo Ball, Clint Capella, Dwight Howard, Karl Anthony Towns, Norman Powell, Al Horford, Kyle Lowry, and Justin Patton come in as some pretty strong options for us. Don't forget, subscribe. Hit the notification bell down below. Leave your comments. Guys, awesome. NBA's back. Good luck. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.